Welcome guys, I hope you guys are doing good, and if you're new, welcome also. Just don't forget to subscribe. Today I am going to show you how to make these Grecian neckline. It's very easy, as you can see. So before we waste any time, let's get started, and don't forget to subscribe. So we are going to start on this basic block. If you want to know how to draft this basic block, please do check out my tutorial on how to draft a full basic block. So let's get started by marking this one. Of course, we're going to start with the front. And then once we're done, before we do any changes, I am going to go ahead and trace out for the back part. So now we have to focus on the front pattern. So I'm going to do dot manipulation by actually creating a shoulder dot. So I'm going to find the midpoint of the shoulder, mark it, and I'm going to use a red marker as we're going to do some changes on the front pattern. Then you want to connect the line to the bust line. So once you're done, we're just going to cut out the front pattern. Okay, so now I'm going to open up my side dot, and then I'm going to open also the shoulder dot. So once you're done closing the side dot, there's just going to be a little bit of paper sticking out, so you just want to trim that paper out. So right on the armhole, you just want to create that Grecian neckline by just tilting the ruler and draw a straight line, and then you just want to cut out the piece on top. Once we're done, I am going to open up the dot a little bit. So I'm going to go in by, I'll prefer ½ inch. So you go in by ½ inch just to open up the dot. Now once you're done doing so, we just want to separate both pieces. So we're going to do the same for the back. So in order for us to draft the back, we are going to need, of course, the back pattern that we traced out. So I am going to also measure the shoulder, half of the shoulder, and I'm going to mark a midpoint right there, the same as we did for the front. The next thing, we want to see if the shoulder of the front and the shoulder of the back are the same. You just want to make sure that they are the same. When you sew, they will be matching. So I'm going to do the same by slanting my ruler and create a straight line or a slanted line. So guys, don't forget that this pattern, it doesn't include any seam allowance. So once you're done cutting out your pieces, it's good to add your seam allowance. I would recommend that you add around ½ inch seam allowance all around your pattern. So as for the back, it does have a zip allowance. So I have left around 1 inch of for zip allowance. So I am also going to connect it from the neckline, and as I'm cutting it out, don't forget to add also your zipper allowance. So guys, we're done cutting out our patterns, and note again, I haven't added any seam allowance, so let's go ahead and cut this on fabric. So I went ahead and I did cut everything on fabric, and I left around 1/2 inch seam all around the pattern. And also for the front, this one on the front, it's written on fold, as you can see, so you want to make sure that your fabric is on fold for the front. And on the side, I did add seam allowance, and I created some notches. These notches will actually help me to see how am I going to connect these two pieces. So let's go ahead and sew. So guys, it's time for us to join both pieces together, and I'm going to make sure that I join the notches that we marked, and make sure that you also pin, and this is going to make it easy for you guys when you're going to sew this side piece of the front pattern. And if you left any seam allowances, please follow the seam allowances. Like I left around 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I'm going to join this with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So guys, if you have watched till this point, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Okay guys, I've sewn my Grecian sleeve or the top, so as you can see that there's more gapping on the side, and we want to fix this. So it's very easy to fix this. Let's go back to the drawing board and let me show you how you can fix this. So you need to get your two front pattern and take your side pattern and decide how much you want to go in. But as for me, I'm going to go in by at least 1 inch or 1/2 inch, okay? And then you want to join it to the bust point. This is just to open up the dart so that when you sew it, it can just close that gapping. And we are done, guys. This is how it will look. You want to go ahead and try to cut it on fabric again and see how it looks.